America, land of the free, home of the brave, has been the biggest victim of constant and intentional segregation and has been manipulated by propaganda for over 100 years. Our media tells us what they want us to believe about other countries.
I do care about North Korea. And as I said from the beginning of this new war in the 21st century, we'll deal with each threat differently.
And then we send our men and women to fight an enemy that has been fabricated to consume our fears. But what about our fears of terrorism right here in America? We have white supremacy, organized crime, and gangs of all nationalities that migrate across the United States and impose fear within our communities. To be able to grasp what the media is doing, we have to first understand how the human mind works. When we walk down the street, we absorb an abundance of information that just stores itself in our brain. Birds chirping, engines roaring, the person driving in a rush, honking his horn, multiple conversations going on at one time, and kids playing are all bits of data that we retain on a day-to-day basis, and all the absorbed at the same time. Humans react uniformly to stimuli. The media's message is directly injected into the bloodstream of a population like fluid from a syringe. Messages are strategically created to achieve desired responses. The effects of the media's messages are immediate and powerful, capable of causing significant behavioral changes in humans. The public is powerless to escape the media's influence. Dick Rowland and Sarah Page have some sort of encounter in the elevator of the Drexel building. She screamed, possibly drawing a clerk from Renberg's. Dick Rowland was immediately arrested for his own safety. Shortly after, a lynch mob showed up at the precinct and was dispressured by the sheriff. A crowd of whites gathered in front of the precinct to find out what was going on. Soon after, the group of blacks gathered to find out what happened. According to Tulsa Museum, a black woman showed up and was asked what was happening. She allegedly said there would be a lynching. This ultimately led to the destruction of a black, prosperous town. On May 4th, 2015, two Baltimore police officers accosted a young man whom they observed on camera carrying a revolver. The police approached the suspect and he fled.
Breaking news. Shepard Smith reporting live from the Fox News deck.
And our producers in Baltimore say they saw a police officer shoot a man just moments ago. Here's the video from the scene. According to our team there, an officer shot that man you see on the stretcher. We're hearing conflicting reports on social scanners there. I should say on the local police scanners and beyond. It is very early. Fox News cannot frankly confirm exactly what happened, despite the fact that our producers were there. But we have watched the scene getting more crowded by the minute as bystanders gather. A large police presence with police choppers overhead. More chaos in Baltimore exactly 1 week after we saw unrest turn into violent riots. Mike Tobin has the news live in Baltimore. Mike, what happened?
Well, Shep, we don't have to worry that much about confirmation because it happened right in front of our eyes.
The last thing you need is any more loss of life in that community. Been covering stuff like this for a long time. It's kind of unusual for the news crews covering something that's been ongoing.
Sure.
All of a sudden, there you're witness to some guy getting gunned down in the street.
I mean, that's
and passing
so weird.
absolutely no judgment on whether things were right or wrong. Just being a witness to such a thing is a little bit weird.
It actually started maybe a few
houses down from that because the boy was sitting on the steps right there by the check cashing.
And what was he doing when he was sitting on the steps?
He was just sitting on the steps. There were some other dudes. They were talking from what I could see, smoking cigarettes, things like that.
Young man?
Yes, young man, maybe like 18, 19.
All right, and what happened?
Well, the police came and pulled up right here in front of Jackson Hewitt. The officer got out the passenger side and proceeded to chase the boy because as soon as he saw the police, he started running.
Was there any words exchanged?
No, the police just got out the car and started chasing the boy. And then he ran down toward the Metro PCS. The officer got in the middle of the street and shot that boy in his back, in my face. That's when
How close were you when the gunshot happened?
I was right there at the check cashing.
I am sure that everyone in America is familiar with Eric Garner, Sean Bell, and Michael Brown because of the media. They became household names when you reference police brutality. Police also killed Janetta Riley, Christopher Roop, Kelly Thomas, and Robert Ethan Saylor. Sandpoint, Ohio, July 2014. Janetta Riley, who was a pregnant woman who was reported as addicted to meth and alcohol, was taken to Bruner General Hospital by her husband after making threats to kill herself. When confronted by police, she had a 3.5-inch knife and was ultimately killed. February 2014, 17-year-old Christopher Roop was playing Wii when he heard a knock at the door. The police were at the other side of the door to serve his father a warrant. Christopher went to answer the door with the Wii controller in his hand. He was fatally shot as he opened the door. No officers were charged. Culpeper, Virginia, February 10, 2012. Patricia was leaving church after giving a Sunday class when she was shot several times by Officer Daniel Harmon Wright. She died from her wounds immediately. According to officials, there was a report of a suspicious person inside a parking lot of the church. Harmon Wright is serving 3 years because his story did not add up to the actual account. Robert Ethan Saylor was a Down syndrome man who visited a movie theater with his aide, wandered away from her, and went back to the theater to see the film he enjoyed again. He was approached by theater staff and was asked to leave the premises, and he refused. 3 off-duty officers attempted to remove Saylor and had to use 3 pairs of cuffs to restrain him. While they had him on his stomach, he started to show signs of distress. He eventually died of asphyxiation. Grand jury decided not to pursue the case. They didn't make the mainstream media. Why? The sad reality is whites who are killed by police is just news. People of color will march. Patricia Ann Cook. Patricia Ann Cook. Patricia Ann Cook.